Good day, everybody. Welcome to our English class. I am Jmarie Alvarez, and I'll be your English teacher. For today, we'll be discussing about the Module 3, Active and Passive Voice. Before we proceed further to our discussion, let us first identify the objectives of the lesson. You can say that you have understood the lesson in this module if you can already identify examples of sentences in active and passive voice, recognize the difference between active and passive voices, define active voice and passive voice, form and use verbs in active and passive voice, and transform the sentence from active voice to passive voice and vice versa. Let us first define what is a voice. In English, voice is the quality of a verb which shows the subject is the doer or the receiver of the action. So in English, we have two kinds of voice. It is active voice and passive voice. Let us first study about what is an active voice. We can say that it is an active voice when the subject does or acts upon the verb and the object receives the action. The sentence, we could say that the sentence is an active voice. So, ibig sabihin po, kapag ang subject ang siyang gumagawa or nag-act doon sa verb at yung object ang siyang nagre-receive ng verb na yon or ng action na yon, ang sentence daw po ay active voice. And meron ditong ibinigay na pattern. Let's have this pattern. Una daw po ay subject. Yan ang pattern natin. And then the verb or the action word. And then the object or the receiver. So, kapag ganito ang ating pattern, it is in active voice. Ang formula naman natin for other further clue, formula subject plus yung past participle na verb and then the object. Okay, para mas ma-explain natin yan, magbigay tayo ng ilang example. So, meron tayo ditong example na sentence na the rich man accused the poor family of stealing the spirit of his family's food. Okay, let's identify. The rich man, it is said that it is the subject. Kasi po, siya yung gumagawa ng action or ng past participle na accuse doon sa sentence. Siya ang gumawa niyan. That's why yung rich man ang subject, accuse yung past participle or action word or verb. At sino naman po ang receiver ng action or ng verb na accuse? Sino ba yung ina-accuse? Di ba po ba yung poor family? That's why yung poor family is the object or the receiver of the action. So kung mapapansin natin dun sa ating format or yung ating formula, subject, past participle verb, and then the receiver, which is the object. That's why we could say that this sentence is an example of an active voice. Kasi in this sentence, the subject is the rich man and the doer of the action accused, while the poor family is the receiver of the action na past participle na accused. That's why, uulitin natin, this is an example of an active voice. Let's have another one. In this one, our sentence is, my brothers threw small change in a straw hat. So, ang subject natin dito ay yung brothers kasi sila yung gumawa ng verb or ng past participle na nandito sa sentence natin na threw. At sino po ba yung receiver ng action na threw? Di pa po ba yung small change? Ayan yung nag-receive ng ating past participle or action word na through. That's why in this sentence, ang subject natin ng brothers, kasi siya yung gumawa or doer ng action or past participle na verb na through, at ang nag-receive ng through na action na yan ay yung small change. That's why pasok siya doon sa ating formula na subject, past participle, and the object or the receiver of the action. That's why this is also an example of an active voice. Let's have another. Okay, let's have another example. The gavel was pounded by the judge. So let's use our formula subject, helping verb, past participle, and the by object. So in this case, ang ating subject ay gavel, siya yung pinag-uusapan. And then we have the helping verb was. and then pounded yung ating past participle at ang ating by object is by the judge or yung gumagawa ng action. That's why we have the formula subject, helping verb, past participle, and by object. Kaya po, this is an example of a passive voice. Okay, example number 3. Father paid the rich man. Okay, let's have again the formula. Sige, let's have the formula. Okay, next, let's have the passive voice. When the subject is the receiver of the action and the doer is found at the end, the sentence is in the passive voice. So, ito kabaliktaran siya ng active voice. Okay, ito yung pattern. Subject. Pero pagdating sa active, ang subject natin, siya ang receiver ng action. And then we have the action word and then the doer of the action. Okay, sa formula natin, ayan yung subject, helping verb, which can be is, are, was, were, o yung mga helping verb natin, plus past participle, and then plus the by object. Kung mapapansin nyo sa formula, may nadagdag na dalawa compare sa active voice. Merong nadagdag na helping verb at by object. Okay, let's see sa mga examples. Example number 1. The cat is scared by the dog. Dito, kung mapapansin nyo, ang cat, siya yung subject. Pero hindi siya yung gumagawa ng action. Kasi ang gumawa ng action ay yung dog. O, let's analyze. The cat is the subject. And then, ang helping verb natin ay is. And then, ang ating past participle ay scared. At ang ating by object ay yung by the dog. That's why this is an example of a passive voice sentence. Kasi yung cat, yung subject, is the helping verb, scared is the past participle, and the by object or yung doer ng action na nasa dulo, gaya ng sinabi sa definition, ay yung by the dog. This is an example of a passive voice. Let's have another example. Passive voice example number 2. The poor family was accused by the rich man of stealing the spirit of his family's food by smelling. Ayan. So, bigyan natin ng focus yung unang part. The poor family was accused by the rich man. Pasok ba siya dun sa ating formula ng subject, helping verb, past participle, and by object? Okay, ang pinag-uusapan dito ay yung poor family. Sila yung subject. Pero hindi sila yung gumagawa ng action. 'Di ba? Ang gumagawa ng action ay yung by the rich man na nasa dulo. O, let's see one by one yung ating formula. Poor family is the subject. May was tayo na helping verb. Accused tayo na past participle at by the rich man or yung by object or yung doer ng action na nasa dulong part ng sentence ay nandito. That's why pasok siya doon sa ating formulang subject, helping verb, past participle, and the by object. So, yun yung pagkakaiba nila. Pwede rin po tayo mag-transform ng active voice into passive voice and passive voice into active voice. So, paano ba natin yan ginagawa? Paano natin yan itatransform? Let's see. Paano ba kapag itatransform ng active to passive? Identify muna natin, sabi dito sa number 1, identify the subject and the verb. Of course, kailangan alamin natin yan para makuha natin, makita natin using yung ating clue na formula. 'Di ba? Dito, ano ba yung subject? Mother. Kasi siya yung doer ng action na right. So, yan yung ating subject and the verb. Next naman sabi ay determine the object to what or whom is the action done. Mother ang subject, right ang ating verb. Diba formula natin, subject, verb, and the receiver or the object. Sino ba yung sinusulatan or ano yung isinulat? Diba yung letter? Kaya ito yung receiver ng action na right. That's why, ayan. Paano ba natin yan itatransform? Next, paano nga ba itatransform? Nalaman na natin yung subject, nalaman na natin yung past participle at yung object. I-change naman natin yan. Ang kailangan daw natin para maging passive ay i-interchange yung subject and object because in passive voice, we give importance to the object. 'di ba? Yung object yung ating magiging subject. Kanina ang object natin ay nasa dulo. So mangyayari, mapupunta siya sa unahan. 'Di ba yung ating example kanina ng active ay mother writes a letter. So yung dulo na object, mapupunta siya sa una kapag gagawin natin siyang passive, 'di ba? At idadagdag lang natin yung ating formula, kailangan meron siyang helping verb, meron siyang past participle. Kaya ang mangyayari, a letter is written by mother. So, mapapansin ninyo, yung kaninang nasa unahan na mother ay napunta sa dulo. Okay? So, ganon. Dapat daw po magta-transform ng active to passive voice. Yung object na nasa dulo or receiver na action, pagdating sa passive, napupunta siya sa una, nadadagdagan ng helping verb, at ng past participle idudugtong at nagkakaroon ng by object at magiging by mother, by plus yung object. Kaya po ang sentence natin into passive ay a letter is written by mother. Okay po. Paano naman daw po kapag passive voice, gagawin namang active voice? So, babalik na rin naman. O, may example tayo dito. The gavel was pounded by the judge. So, this is an example of passive. Kasi, meron siyang subject, may helping verb, may past participle, at merong by object na nasa dulo. Okay. Tanungin muna natin, sino ba yung doer, 'di ba, ng action? Sino ba yung doer na action, 'di ba? Ang doer na action natin, sino ba yung nag-pound? 'Di ba yung ng pound ng gavel, 'di ba yung judge? Siya talaga yung gumagawa, yung pagpa-pound, yung pinupukpok niya yung kaniyang gavel. So yung judge 'yan. So ang mangyayari dahil nga po ang formula natin sa active ay subject, verb, and then the object or the receiver, yung sa dulo natin na gumagawa ng action ay ililipat natin sa unahan. Gagamitin natin yung formula. 'Di ba? Meron tayong formula subject, past participle, at yung ating doer. Tatanggalin natin yung helping verb, tatanggalin natin yung by object, kaya ang matitira na lang, the judge pounded the gavel. Okay, so tatanggalin natin to para maging active voice siya. Kasi ang formula natin, uh, subject, past participle, and then the and then the object, dapat, 'di ba? Subject, verb, and then the object. Dapat ganun sa active. So, tatanggalin natin helping verb, tatanggalin natin tong by object. So, ang mangyayari, mapupunta yung judge sa unahan kasi siya yung gumagawa ng action. Kaya, the judge pounded the gavel. Ang judge, ang doer ng action na pounded, at sino yung naka-receive ng pagpapound, di ba yung gavel? That's why this is an example or na-transform na natin siya, yung passive na gavel was pounded by the judge into active voice, the judge pounded the gavel. Okay, remember to use the same tense of the verb. Other examples. Mary will eat pizza. This is an active voice. So, gagamitan pa rin natin siya ng the same tenses of verb. Sa part na to, i-change natin siya into passive voice. The pizza will be eaten by Mary. Kasi kailangan natin ng formula na subject, helping verb, and then past participle, and then yung ating by object. Kaya nadagdagan ng will be, yung be ang helping verb, eaten past participle. 'Di ba? Kinonvert natin yung past participle natin doon sa ating passive. Kaya magiging eaten. Kasi tandaan, sa passive voice, kailangan lagi siyang naka-past participle form yung kanyang verb. Let's have another example. Mom arranged the books in your room. This is active voice. Subject, action word, and then the receiver of the action or the object. I-change natin yan into passive. Ang mangyayari, ang receiver, ang magiging subject ay yung receiver ng action. Ayan, yung books. 'Di ba? Tapos, eto na. Meron tayong helping verb na where, past participle na arrange, and yung ating by object na by your mom. Passive voice na yan. Kasi meron na tayong subject, helping verb, past participle, at yung ating by object. Okay po. Remember, sa pagsusulat natin ng sentence, kapag active voice, although sometimes, sabi nga po nila, yung passive voice is grammatically correct. Pero hindi pa rin daw siya bibigay ng certain same energy or clarity when it comes to active voice. That's why, kaya po yung active voice, yun yung ginagamit as a normal form of sentence kasi mas direct, mas concise, mas clear, and easy to understand and read. Kaya po yung mga journalist, 'di ba, gumagamit sila ng active voice kasi mas straightforward, mas clear, mas direct sa pagsusulat ng mga articles nila. Sometimes, sabi nga po, although yung active voice is magandang gamitin because direct, concise, clear, and easy to understand and uh, to be read, 'di ba? Pero minsan mas maganda pa rin gamitin yung passive voice when it comes to different situations. For instance, sabi nga po dito na pwede tayong gumamit ng passive voice kapag yung actor sa sentence is irrelevant or unknown, di natin alam. So we could use passive voice. Or sabi nga po dito, example, the amendments will be approved after the discussion. Ang tanong, sino ba ang gumagawa or hindi kilala, hindi binanggit? We could use passive voice in this instance, 'di ba? Kaya nga po sabi na although mas magandang gamitin yung active, there are some instances or situations na mas magandang gamitin yung active in some cases. Okay? Sabi dito, we are interested in the approval of the amendments, not who approved it. Kasi hindi malinaw kung alin, kung saan, 'di ba? Or irrelevant or unknown yun nandoon. Pwede tayong gumamit ng passive sentence pagdating dyan. Kasi sa passive sentence, it can also create an authoritative tone. Kaya nga po sabi rito, uh, example, employees are required to wash their hands, 'di ba? Ito na. Ito, yung object natin, yung ating helping verb, and then yung ating past participle to wash their hands is the by object. Kasi ayan, meron tayong clue dito niyan. Yung by object, hindi siya necessarily na by lang ha. Any preposition or prepositional phrase, pag meron yan ay passive voice. 'Di ba sabi dito, hindi naman nagma-matter kung sino o ang nag-require doon sa employee. Instead, inutos na mag-wash ng hands, 'di ba? Employees are required to wash their hands. Hindi natin kilala kung sino, unknown, irrelevant, but still, you will be giving an authoritative tone. You could use passive voice, 'di ba? You can also use passive voice when you do not know who is responsible for the action. So, pwede kang gumamit ng passive voice, 'di ba? Kasi kabaliktaran nga pag direct, pag active voice, direct, concise, 'di ba? So, kapag hindi mo sure, hindi mo kilala, irrelevant, unknown, you could use passive. Active and passive voice have different differences when it comes to writing. 'Di ba? Yung active voice will help you express your ideas more clearly, direct, concise, but occasionally yung passive voice pwede nating gamitin, magiging best option natin siya in some cases or in some situations na pwede nating gamitin gaya ng sinabi kanina. Okay? Basta tandaan natin, you have to take some time to know and also to observe, to reflect kung ano yung best na gagamitin yung voice na mag-fit doon or magiging best doon sa sinusulat ninyo. Okay, let's try. Let's try transforming this. Let's have an example. A complaint was filed by the rich man against the poor father. So this is the passive form. Transform natin siya into active. So ang ating formula, gaya nga ng sinasabi natin, formula natin sa active should be subject, past participle, and the object. Tatlo lang. So dito, para magamit natin yan, sino ba yung ating subject na gumagawa ng action? Yung rich man, 'di ba? Nasa dulo siya. Ita-transform, gagawin sa una, and then ilalagay yung ating uh, past participle or verb na filed. And then, ano ba yung ginawa ng filed? Ano yung i-file? 'Di ba? A complaint. Kaya ang nangyari, naging active voice na siya. The rich man filed a complaint against the poor father. Dagdag nyo na lang yung ibang mga additionals doon sa sentence. Okay, pero ang pinagbibigyan natin ng pansin, yung first part, a complaint was filed by the rich man. Pag-transform natin into active voice, napupunta yung rich man sa unahan. and then tinatanggal yung helping verb, natitira yung filed, and then dinudugtong yung object, a complaint. Tinatanggal din yung by, the object, or yung prepositional phrase. Yan, nagiging the rich man filed the complaint against the poor father is already in the active voice. Let's have another one. The chairs were filled by the spectators for the hearing. So, passive to. Bakit? Kasi meron siyang subject pero hindi siya yung gumagawa ng action. Merong helping verb, may past participle at may by the object or prepositional phrase by the spectators for the hearing. So, atin yan, papalitan ng active voice. Formula natin, subject, past participle, object. Gaya nga ng sinasabi, yung ating subject dito yung gumagawa ng action, ililipat natin sa unahan. Magiging the spectators fill the chairs for the hearing. Dadagdag na lang yung mga additionals na sentence para mabuo at lahat magamit yan. Pero sa una, magpapalit na yan. Instead, the chairs were filled by the spectators. Magiging the spectators filled the chairs. Active voice na yan. Okay po, let's have another one. The pandemic brought a major change in everyone's life. Ito naman, ang gagawin natin, active to, active voice. Kasi wala siyang helping verb, walang by the object, kundi straightforward na subject, action word, and object. So, ang mangyayari, di ba? Papalitan natin yan into passive. Ang formula natin ng passive ito, subject, helping verb, past participle, and by object. So, ano ba yon? Yung ating ginagawa ng action, di ba? Ito, ang dulo, major change, mapupunta siya sa una. A major change in everyone's life, dadagdagan ng helping verb was brought, nasa past participle na yan, no need to change, by the pandemic. Ito yung ating by object, ayan, by the pandemic. Kaya ang ating passive voice ay, a major change in everyone's life was brought by the pandemic. This is already the passive voice converted. Okay? So let's have another one. COVID-19 disrupted the world economy. So, papalitan natin yan. So, ang mangyayari, paki-disregard lamang po ito, typo to. So, ang mangyayari yan, kapag ating kinonvert into passive, etong ating receiver mapupunta doon sa ating unahan, di ba? Kaya ang mangyayari, the world economy, kailangan natin ng helping verb was, kasi syempre, past tense na to kaya was to Disrupted, past participle na yan, kaya ikakopy na lang natin yan. Ang by the object natin, dadagdagan natin ng by the pandemic or COVID-19. So, mangyayari natin yan ay the world economy was disrupted by COVID-19 or by the pandemic. Sorry for the typo ha, pero ang passive natin dito, the world economy was disrupted by the COVID-19 or the economy was disrupted by the pandemic. So, yun yung ating passive kasi may subject, may helping verb, may past participle, at may by object or prepositional phrase. Remember, the voice you can use can make a big difference in your writing. Kasi nga, ito yung magbibigay ng impact if it can be direct or kapag hinihingi ng situation, you could use passive. Active voice will help you express your idea clearly, but occasionally, sabi nga po, passive voice would be your best option. Kaya, you have to take some time in choosing the voice that fits best. Ayan po. And that's all for today. Hopefully, may natutunan kayong bago ngayon. Huwag nating kalimutan yung mga formula. Huwag nating kalimutan yung mga patterns so we could easily determine and then also transform passive voices and active voices. That's all for today. Once again, I am Jmarie Alvarez, your English teacher. Kita-kita ulit tayo next time. God bless. Ingat!